You notice micro-reactions even when you're not trying to. These split-second expressions reveal emotion before someone can hide it. Today, you'll learn what those tiny signals actually mean. 1. Micro-eyebrow flash, quick eyebrow lift. A quick, tiny eyebrow lift signals recognition, surprise, or acknowledgement before the rest of the face reacts. It's one of the fastest micro-reactions the human face produces. This movement matters because it shapes how others read your engagement. Even a fraction of a second eyebrow lift can signal openness or alertness in a conversation. A micro-eyebrow flash is a rapid upward movement caused by activation of the frontalis muscle. It lasts under half a second and often happens involuntarily. It occurs because your brain registers something noteworthy, someone entering the room, an unexpected comment, or a moment of interest. This reaction increases visual intake briefly. It might reveal curiosity, recognition, or mild surprise, but it can also be a habitual greeting response. You may flash your eyebrows when you unexpectedly see someone you know. During conversations, it may appear when something resonates with you. Do your eyebrows jump slightly when you acknowledge someone or hear something intriguing? Use a gentle eyebrow lift intentionally when greeting people. It conveys warmth and receptiveness. 2. Micro-tightening of the lips, sudden lip pressure. A split-second tightening of the lips often signals restraint, something you're holding back emotionally or verbally. This reaction matters because others may interpret it as hesitation or discomfort, even when you're simply thinking. Micro-tightening happens when the orbicularis oris muscle contracts suddenly, pressing the lips together firmly for a brief moment. It occurs because the brain momentarily needs to contain a reaction, surprise, disagreement, frustration, or uncertainty. It's a subtle way of pausing emotional expression. This might reveal tension, internal conflict, or momentary resistance, but it's not always negative. Sometimes it simply means someone is considering their words. During disagreements, people may press their lips microscopically before responding. On dates, micro-tightening may appear when someone is unsure how to react. Do your lips tighten briefly before you speak when you're unsure? Pay attention to lip tension. Relaxing your mouth helps communicate openness. 3rd, micro-nostril flare, split-second air intake. A tiny, rapid nostril flare happens when the body prepares for heightened attention or emotional response. This matters because nostril movements often signal an internal shift, excitement, readiness, or sudden alertness. A micro-flare is a quick widening of the nostrils driven by increased airflow and activation of small nasal muscles. It happens because your body instinctively takes in more oxygen when preparing for action, surprise, or strong emotion. It's a readiness cue, not a deliberate gesture. This might reveal anticipation, emotional activation, or momentary arousal, but it can also reflect breathing adjustments unrelated to emotion. Watching intense moments in a movie, nostrils may flare briefly. In arguments, a micro-flare sometimes appears before someone speaks. Do your nostrils widen slightly when you're about to respond strongly? Slow your breathing during tense moments. Controlling breath reduces involuntary flares. 4. Microsquint, rapid narrowing of the eyes. A microsquint appears when the brain needs to assess something carefully, emotionally, or visually. This matters because people often read squinting as doubt or skepticism, even when it's simply focus. A microsquint is a fast tightening of the muscles around the eyes, reducing the amount of light and sharpening attention. It happens because your brain wants more accuracy, evaluating someone's words, sensing inconsistency, or clarifying emotional cues. This might reveal analysis, caution, or a moment of uncertainty, but squinting can also come from light sensitivity or eye fatigue. In conversations, people micro-squint when something doesn't add up. During dates, it may appear when evaluating sincerity. Do you narrow your eyes when you're unsure or analyzing? Be mindful of micro-squints. They can send unintended signals of doubt. 5. Micro-smile, extremely brief positive expression. A micro-smile flashes across the face for less than half a second, revealing sudden positive emotion before social filters take over. This matters because microsmiles often show genuine delight or amusement that someone may quickly suppress. A microsmile involves tiny activation of the zygomatic muscles, sometimes with slight eye involvement, before disappearing instantly. It happens because emotional impulses move faster than conscious control. Your brain reacts warmly before deciding whether to reveal or hide the feeling. This might reveal genuine liking, appreciation, or amusement, but it could also reflect polite acknowledgement. You may microsmile when someone you like texts you, or during a joke before you compose yourself. Do small smiles appear before you fully react in happy moments? Notice microsmiles when building rapport. They hint at genuine positive connection. 6. Microfrown. Tiny downward pull of the brows. A microfrown is a fast, subtle tightening between the eyebrows that appears before someone consciously masks discomfort or confusion. It often flashes for under half a second. This reaction is important because it reveals the earliest sign of concern, disagreement, or mental stress, long before the person verbalizes anything. A microfrown occurs when the corrugator muscles briefly contract. The motion is tiny, sometimes only noticeable at the inner eyebrows. It happens because the brain reacts instinctively to cognitive strain, processing difficult information, sensing inconsistency, or feeling emotional tension. This might reveal momentary doubt, emotional discomfort, or deep focus, but it can also show up when someone is simply concentrating intensely. During debates, microfrowns appear when something doesn't feel right. On dates, it may show up when a joke is confusing rather than funny. Do you show tiny frowns when something surprises or challenges you? Watch for microfrowns. They help you sense discomfort or confusion early, allowing you to respond thoughtfully. 7. Micro head tilt. Instantaneous angle change. A micro head tilt is a rapid, slight movement of the head to one side, often signaling sudden curiosity or uncertainty. This matters because head tilts subtly indicate shifts in attention or emotional openness, even before facial expressions change. A micro head tilt happens when neck muscles adjust quickly, shifting the orientation of the head without engaging the rest of the body. It occurs because the brain uses head movement to improve perception, tilting to listen better, analyze tone, or evaluate emotional cues. This might reveal interest, confusion, or a desire for clarification, but it isn't always emotional. Sometimes it's just habitual listening posture. During storytelling, people micro-tilt when something unexpectedly catches their attention. In meetings, it appears when seeking better understanding. Do you tilt your head slightly when you're curious or unsure? Use gentle head tilts in conversation. They subtly signal that you're engaged and listening. 8. Micro body freeze, split-second pause. A micro body freeze is a momentary stillness where the body stops moving for a fraction of a second, often revealing emotional intensity. This matters because freezing is one of the earliest signs of internal processing. Your mind momentarily pauses to handle incoming information. A micro freeze involves reduced blinking, slower breathing, and minimal movement for a very brief period. It happens because the nervous system activates a freeze response when faced with sudden emotional impact. Surprise, fear, or intense focus. It's the body's way of recalibrating. This might reveal caution, attention, or emotional overload, but it can also appear simply when someone is concentrating deeply. In serious conversations, people freeze when hearing something impactful. On dates, a micro-freeze may happen when someone receives unexpected praise or emotion. Do you pause your body briefly when you're surprised or processing something big? If you notice yourself freezing, take a breath. It helps you stay grounded and respond clearly. 9. Micro-eye dart, rapid shift in gaze. A micro-eye dart is a quick flick of the eyes to the side or downward, signaling a moment of internal checking or emotional shift. This matters because eye darts can reveal discomfort, sudden thought, or the need to evaluate something privately before speaking. A micro-eye dart happens when eye muscles move rapidly in response to emotional or cognitive triggers. It occurs because the brain processes information faster than speech, prompting the eyes to seek an anchor, down for emotions, sideways for distraction, or inward thought. This might reveal hesitation, momentary embarrassment, or self-reflection, but it can also be caused by environmental distractions. During tough questions, people eye dart before responding. In romantic moments, someone may dart their eyes away in a microsecond of shyness. Do your eyes flick away quickly when you're unsure or emotional? When you notice an eye dart, slow the pace. People often need a second to process their thoughts. 10. Microswallow, sudden throat contraction. A microswallow is a quick swallow or throat movement triggered by emotional or physiological reaction. This matters because it often reveals stress, nerves, or emotional intensity before the face shows anything else. A microswallow occurs when the throat muscles contract briefly, sometimes visible in the neck or Adam's apple. It happens because anxiety, emotional spikes, or pressure temporarily reduce saliva production, prompting a reflexive swallow. Sometimes it appears during anticipation or uncertainty. This might reveal tension, nervousness, or emotional buildup, but it can also reflect dryness, temperature changes, or routine swallowing. In interviews, people often swallow subtly before answering tough questions. On dates, a microswallow may appear when someone feels nervous or excited. Do you swallow quickly when you're anxious or preparing to speak? Breathe slowly before responding. Steady breathing reduces throat tension and microswallow frequency. Micro-reactions reveal the truth your body expresses before words ever appear. Now that you can see these tiny signals more clearly, you can understand people with far more accuracy. If this video helped you decode these cues, subscribe for more insights, leave a comment with your thoughts, and share this video with someone who'd appreciate it.